Hey guys, I've been reading some of the comments from our previous hopper tutorial videos, and there still seems to be a large number of questions around moving items between chests, both horizontally and vertically. So here we know that this hopper, facing this lower chest, can move items from this upper chest to this lower chest. But what if we want to move items horizontally from this left chest to this right chest? You can't do that with the standard hopper. Similarly, if we want to move items from this lower chest to this upper chest, we can't do that with the standard hopper. So what we need to do is add a little bit of redstone. Here is a simple design that looks at moving items between two chests, both at the same height. Here we have a hopper connecting to one single chest, moving items into a vertically orientated dropper, which moves items into the adjacent chest. The way this design works is items move from the chest into the hopper into a dropper, activating a comparator block, disabling a redstone torch, allowing a simple redstone clock to activate. When the redstone torch here is activated, it powers the block above it, which in turn powers the dropper, moving items into the chest above it. Pretty straightforward and a pretty efficient design. But what if we want to move items into two separate chests? Well, here this design does exactly that. It requires a few more hoppers and droppers, but it's based on the same process. Here we have items being pulled from this double chest through two hoppers, moving items into two droppers. Items are then moved through a series of droppers into the two chests. Similar to the previous design, there are comparators connected to the two droppers that receive the first lot of items, disabling a redstone torch, allowing a simple redstone clock to activate. This lower redstone torch moves items between these lower three droppers, moving items from this corner dropper vertically into the dropper above it, and this opposite redstone torch moves items from this final dropper into the chest above. This lower torch also powers this dropper 2 blocks above it through powering this lower dropper, moving items into the chest above it. Not a very practical design, but it's a simple way to evenly distribute items between two different chests. We can again use this simple comparator and redstone clock design to move items vertically. So here we're moving items from one chest through a hopper into a dropper, detecting when there are items to be transported, activating a redstone clock, moving items into a chest above it through a series of droppers. We can use hoppers as well when we're moving items in different directions. I find it's easier to use droppers, but it's cheaper to make just droppers in this case. Something else I've always been asked a lot on is how do you evenly distribute items between chests? Now it may not be chests, it could also be dispensers or furnaces. Now there's different ways to do that. I find the simplest way is to use hoppers pulling items evenly out of a double chest. But there is a problem when you go through more than one double chest at a time. So for here, for example, we're going to move items between one double chest into another, then into two single chests. Now what you might think is when items are pulled from this left hopper into this double chest, where items are then pulled through two separate hoppers, that these two lower hoppers will evenly pull items from this double chest. That is not the case when you allow items to flow through the hoppers without first filling this chest with all the items that it can receive. I'll show this in an example. So here I'll put in 64 items, and we're expecting 16 items to appear in each of these individual chests. What we're seeing though are the items are going into this double chest, then they're only being pulled through this leftmost hopper into this single chest. It's the opposite for the other side. There is a simple workaround for this though, and that is we want to allow for all items to move out of this single double chest into these lower double chests before we allow these lower hoppers to activate, moving items into these 4 separate chests. So here what I'll do, I'll just set up a simple comparator to detect when there are items in this double chest. Yep. And what we'll do is we'll just do something like this. So here what will happen is when there are items passing through this chest into the hoppers beneath it, this will be powering this comparator, which will in turn send a constant redstone signal through to this lower line here, which will disable these hoppers, these 4 hoppers that are connected to these 2 double chests. This allows for all items to move from this large chest into these 2 separate double chests, then activating these lower hoppers. We'll then see that all items will move evenly between the 4 chests. Now I still have the items from the previous time I transferred items from the upper chest, so I'll just remove all those and do one more quick test. So this is 64 items, and now we're expecting 16 items to appear in each individual chest. So here we can see items are being transferred from this double chest through these hoppers. As soon as there are no more items, here we go, there's no more items, this redstone signal turns off, allowing these lower hoppers to start pulling items from these double chests. And now we can see we've got 16 items in each of these single chests. Again, these single chests can be different storage blocks, they could be a furnace, they could be a number of things. This is a pretty simple way, and all it's using is a bit of redstone to extend the signal. And you can multiply this design out, by the way, so you can keep having double chests at different heights to start distributing the load. This is a very accurate way to evenly distribute items. A lot easier than using a clock design to pulse a hopper on and off, or by using a minecart and sucking items out through a hopper. Well, hopefully you found that to be useful, answered some of your questions around hoppers and moving items between storage locations. I have created a few other videos in the past around moving items vertically and loading up multiple furnaces so you can have fast automatic furnace designs through chests. I will post a couple of those video links in the video description, check those out if you want. I'll put a updated My Hopper test world in the video description so you can download and have a play around with some of these hopper designs. If you've got any other further questions around hoppers, just leave a video comment and I'll hopefully I can answer it either in the comments or I'll make another video. Alright, thanks guys, and have fun. Cheers.